advice here and there, advice have started flowing in. But the same people, they are the same people that came out and said that P2B can never rule Nigeria, that Igbo man can never rule Nigeria. The same people are now coming out to support Goodluck Jonathan. The same people are now coming out to say that Tinubu will not rule again. The go have come out to say that Tinubu is the worst president ever in Nigeria. We have come out to say that Tinubu is the worst president in Nigeria. And these are people that supported, that made sure that APC won the election. They did everything, rigging, bribing, everything possible to make sure that APC won. And the APC now won the election. Everybody says they're not out saying things negative about APC. And the message that APC have won, APC have won. You can never remove them that easily. That's one thing about politics. Once they are there, they are there. Why APC won is because the former party was APC, so they have influence in the Nigerian government system, in the system of government. So that's why it's hard to remove a ruling party from seats. And I wonder how this coming election is going to be, because everybody is now against APC, because APC have shown us shaky. APC have ruled for like 12 years. This 4 years now make it for 12 years straight that APC ruled Nigeria, and there's nothing productive you say that they did for us, because it's hunger, increased fuel price, increased school fees, increased house rents, bad roads, no lights, but yes, the increased tariff plan. So that's the only thing we have seen and heard from this APC since they became in the office, and now everyone I have opened. So I like guys, if you have a video in the comment section, I'll be guys watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe. See you guys.
We are in the provisions of the proceedings of the National Assembly for the president to now say the Attorney General should come and sit side by side with legislators to accommodate gray areas. The senator said the ideal thing was for the president to withdraw the bills in their entirety, take it to whoever he wants to take it, to work on it, and then represent it as an executive bill. Are you in tune with that senator? Of course, he doesn't want his name to be mentioned.
Okay, thank you for having me. To give a bit of background, I think what is very important for me is that I'm a proponent of this tax reform, and I'm a northerner. I think we need to step back and look at this entire issue from an eagle-eye perspective, Hamza.
Okay.
The senator, with all due respect to him, with profound respect to him and his colleagues, is talking about the hastiness of the issue on one side. I'll address that, and I'll come and address the issue of the president's directive that the Attorney General should engage at this point. First of all, here we are in Nigeria, and specifically the contentious issue is most especially, on the northern side with regards to northern Nigerians. We have political class that cherry pick what to agitate about or what to be active. They are now suddenly activists. Where were they when the national anthem bill was passed at the speed of light?
It isn't important.
Hold on. You see, that is the cherry pick I'm talking about. This has to do with our identity. This has to do with our nationalism. And if we start cherry picking issues to say this is not important, this is important, then maybe we should not have a legislature at all. That National Assembly is called the hallowed chamber. And whatever goes there that has to do with the life and livelihoods of Nigerians should be taken seriously. So you cannot select what to fast track and what not to fast track. In that regard, that is why you always don't set a bad precedence. Now, here we are with a contentious issue, and there is the same people are now speaking from another corner of the mouth to say we are hastening the issue. Secondly, the issue of the directive, Mr. President, I humbly, my understanding of that directive is different.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not holding brief for Mr. President, but I'm also aware I read the news bit. My understanding is that the Attorney General can engage, for example, the Presidential Committee on Tax Reform and other stakeholders and start looking at the gray areas. I am aware we have interest groups already, like the League of Northern Democrats and all those, have already started, taking the steps that we were telling them to take ab initio before going to town and opposing this bill, to review the bill and see the areas that they should, make provisions or make suggestions or whatever. That is what Mr. President is saying. Not that the Attorney General should engage the Senate at this point. This is a legislative matter. Now, we have public hearings coming up. My understanding is whether the Attorney General engages the Presidential Committee and other stakeholders at the public hearing level, people will come and make their inputs at that point in time. And that is why I was not happy to hear people say reject the bill. Because it will paint us as people that do not understand what it means to look at a document, go through the document, and put our position from a strategic perspective and say, this area, for example, the issue, whether it is antithetical to Islam, or even whether those areas that are taxable. As Northerners, we have identified other areas that we believe should be included in the VAT that will also give us an advantage. So when you throw it away, you have lost advantage. And this is a country where we have other regions, other ethnicities, and other religions, even in the north. So as far as I'm concerned, the process is already enshrined in the provisions of the National Assembly. I'm not the one to rewrite the law for them. But this lesson from today is, if you know that you cannot sustain a process, then you don't start cherry picking and tell me that National Assembly is not as important as tax bill. That means the hallowed chamber are playing tricks with Nigerians. Whatever goes before the hallowed chamber should be dealt with in line with the process. And if you read what I wrote in my column the day before yesterday, I said integrity of the process is also key. And I called on government to say, and of course Mr. President has backtracked now to say, let us start engaging. The engagement should continue, but not with the legislature, with the Attorney General. Whoever, all the stakeholders in northern Nigeria and southern Nigeria can do the needful with regards to reviewing the bill in line with how it affects the people, and then take it to the National Assembly at public hearing level, or write their position paper to debate, like I said, debate, engage, debate, consult, and negotiate where necessary so that we can move forward. Let me land with this. A bill is not already a law, right? This bill may fail. For example, if the Northerners come with a strong position, the other sectors may say, you know what, let's leave it as status quo.
Just do what.
Yes, and I can tell you later, there are provisions that I thought the North should also put in forward as a counter offer.
Okay, we'll come to that. Yes.
Yeah.
I can see you are nodding your head. Is it an agreement or disagreement with what Baba Yusuf said? I brought a question, and I personally spoke with that senator.
A bit of both.
In confidence. Yes, that it's like the president is being clever by half. Instead of withdrawing the bill in its entirety, go and do diligence and then present it again. He said, okay, the Attorney General should go and work hand in hand. It's like taking pigeon to be with parrots or something like that.
So I will speak as the politician that you introduced me.
Yes.
And that is a very good background to speak from. And I agree partially with what my brother here says.
Yes.
But completely I'm against anything now that will put burden on Nigerians, because we already have a lot on our table. People are suffering. You can only take after you have given. It's a simple logic. This is just my argument. You cannot continue to tax Nigerians when there is not so much with them. People are already grappling with the effect of the subsidy removal. Our currency has become virtually a nightmare to us. 100,000 naira before that you earn will give you a living, and that you will save after your expenditure. You hardly now even fuel your car with it in a month. So when you want to talk about VAT, we have a lot of areas in our economy that has not yet been improved. We have a lot, Hamza. We have a lot. Tell me which state in our country, 36 plus FCT, that the federal government has provided incentive or has worked in collaboration with the state government, to provide infrastructure with a view to, exploring the potentials of those states, which consequently will bring about employment, will increase in their revenue generation. And then when you have all this put in place, for God's sake, this is governance. So my own challenge is you cannot run Nigeria as a company. I know it comes with its good side. And my problem with this is I'm an APC member.
Yes, I wanted to remind you.
Yes, you don't need to remind me. My problem with this is administering a full dose of whatever policy you have that seeks to create, put damage to our own people is not advisable. When you want to bring about a policy, this tax comes in 4 phases, in 4 segments.
Yes.
There is a part that even my brother here, Baba Yusuf, mentioned, that, okay, not even him. There is a part of it that people look at it as of advantage. For example, the derivation we are talking about. I cannot be making call from my village, my Belwa in Adamawa State,
yes,
and then Lagos State gets to enjoy the VAT. I cannot buy credit while in Gombe, and then Lagos State gets to enjoy the VAT of MTN. You understand? So I agree with that. But the part I don't agree is...
Booking.com bietet mehr als nur Hotels. Wir haben Baumhäuser.
Agree with that. But the part I don't agree is where you want to put pressure on the masses when you have not given so much. Allow these states, most of them today are virtually only waiting for their own allocation, pay salary, and wait till the
But do you blame Tinubu for that?
I don't blame Tinubu. There's a 2 sides of the coin. We are not talking about the other side.
Yes.
I was one time with you people here, and I condemn what our state governors, particularly in the north, are doing, because now this little policy has exposed their inadequacies. We receive money, pay salary, and do what we want to do, not to the advantage of the state. Now it is raining and there is nowhere to hide.
No umbrella.
No umbrella. They are not ready, because imagine if most of our northern states today are economically viable. Imagine if the employment rate, the rate of education, the rate of industrialization, whatever it is you want to look at in this life is inadequacy with those states. There won't be much complaint. But it has come like, it comes to them like a surprise and saying, I'm not ready for this. How do I cope? Yes, I agree partially with them, because Government is not about an individual, it's about the people. Remember, it's democracy, Hamza, we are talking about. And as enshrined in the doctrine, it's of the people, by the people, and for the people. So if you want to bring a policy like this, as sensitive as it is, for God's sake, let it undergo a proper, pattern. Let the people get to understand, where do I get to benefit from this, so that there will be a proper alignment. And if there is a deficiency, how do I remediate this? But there is no much education about an average person in the northern Nigeria today. If you sit him down and when you want to talk to him about this tax reform, he doesn't know anything. Mind you, we have lack of food sufficiency. Is there a much reform about that? We have lack of energy, affordability and availability. Do we have reforms to support that? We have educational system that is decaying. We need reform about that. Yes, they have tried about the NEL fund. But if you look at some aspect of this tax reform, is virtually saying TED fund in the near future will be extinct.
Yeah, it will be
and NEL fund will be left. And you know the disadvantage of that?
No.
Borrowing people money to educate themselves is a burden. It's not an advantage.
And it was told that the policy is not even working in other places. But before we go deep into that, Baba Yusuf, I want you to come in here. He raised some fundamental issues. Like the president is, racing against time. This issue of tax and all that shouldn't have come. He should have allowed or ensure that people, see the benefit of subsidy removal, benefit of floating the naira. People are still trying to recover from those shocks. Absolutely. And now that is why they don't even trust that the tax reform bills will produce any legitimate child of sort.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me go back to this issue of, you see, like I said, the North needs to be strategic. We're not the only ones in this country. I have staked my life for this country, my grandfather, my father. We should speak out. It is time for what I call the Northern Reawakening, Hamza. If we don't do that, we're left in the motor park. Now, the entire bill, there's a very sore point of it, is the increase in VAT. Why not the Northern elites and the intellectuals like us sit down and do a counter? That's the counter I'm saying. Okay, tick, 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 this is allowed. In the present VAT regime, we allow it to continue with the allocation by derivation or consumption. But we don't agree with increment to 7.5%, for example, until such a time that the economy improves. We take that, we move. That is my position. So, throwing away with the baby,
you are giving them
free consultation. Yes. Secondly, we need to understand the dynamics of this, and that is why the political class has been taking us for a ride, Hamza. Education, 70% of the responsibility of providing education in Nigeria is the responsibility of the states. TED fund is talking about tertiary institution. The rot of education that is most in the north is at the primary level and the secondary level. What are the governors doing? We talk about interventions. I don't want to sound like a spokesperson of APC. He's a member of APC. I'm not. Yes. But I try to balance this for Nigeria.
He's actually giving them.
I want to balance it for Nigeria because for me, it's about Nigeria. It's not about, after all, like I say many times, Nigerian politicians are the same actors in different costumes. So it's not that. But let's dimension this thing properly. When subsidy was increased, they are Northern Nigeria. Our governors with profound respect didn't kick against it. Why? Because they were collecting double allocation. The question is, have we asked them as citizens, what have they done with that money? I feel very ashamed. And I'm saying with all sense of responsibility that any governor in Nigeria will dare say today, if there's tax reform, they cannot pay salary. It is unfortunate. We should have a fear of God. What if those states are federal republics on their own? What will happen? If those states are federal republics on their own and COVID happened, what will happen? This president has been giving them double. But because they were together, they didn't come to say people is against the North. They were pocketing the money. Over 100 billion. I may be wrong, but over 100 billion has been allocated by federal government to states as palliative interventions. 5 billion per state, trucks of rice and whatever. What has happened to that? You see, it has come to a point whereby we should recognize that as Nigerians, when you are driving, a good driver looks at the rear view mirror and the side mirrors as you are looking ahead. We should look at our colleagues at the other side. They are guilty of the same, but the approach is different. Now you have governors have suddenly become activists. As a typical northerner, I will start becoming suspicious of those people that are rent-seeking commission collection and they keep quiet and now they are shouting they want to cheat you. Because that is how they have been doing to us for many years. We have produced more presidents and heads of state than any region in Nigeria, yet we are the most backwards. Why? Because at the subnationals, and indeed even those representing us at the federal, are not representing us adequately. And that is why we should start holding governors to account. And then at the same time, take our destiny in our hands. My brother here should go through the bill. I should go through the bill. Like I said, these are my observations. And for example, the items that are supposed to be taxed, are there items that are exempted from tax that we, the Northerners, should say we should tax them? Because if we do, it will catalyze, more revenue for us, for example. This is how we should think and reposition. And if other parties say that, This thing is not, you say, keep it like that. Or if it happens, it is for the betterment of the country. But I will line with this at this point in time. The point is this. Even whether or not this tax reform is undertaken, unless the citizens in the north start holding their political leaders to account, especially these governors, it will get worse and worse and worse. The issue of insecurity, the issue of lack of education and health issues and all that is the core responsibilities of our governors. And if these northern governors, as they are kicking against it now, hold the president to account, because indeed majority of them are APC, then we may not be seeing what we are seeing. So as far as I'm concerned, we as citizens of the north, not the political leaders, not the traditional institution or the religious institution, with due respect to them, because as far as I'm concerned, I see a conspiracy of silence, selective silence on issues that concern Nigerians. We can read and write. Let me give you an instance. Do you know that I heard about a group, in a WhatsApp group, that northern intellectuals subjected the bill to AI? And then you come out and write position papers and you are quoting sections of the bill that I have seen does not tally with what is in the bill. So let us be serious about it. The VAT doesn't have to be increased, but we should put a counter position that is in the best interest of the north, but that is balanced for Nigeria. We don't have to increase the VAT, but the reform will help us at the end of the day. And accountability for the governors and indeed the president is very key.
All right, Hamayaro, what is your take? You can see southern senators towards the end of last week. They said they aligned themselves. They called themselves Southern Senators Forum, things like that. While the northern senators, people like Indube, Ningi, and others, because they are more vocal, but they said they have quite a number in support of withdrawing, that the president should withdraw the bills. Where do Nigerians, belong to this? Because it's like it is taking a regional dimension. Is it a recipe for more trouble for the downtrodden who are finding it difficult to feed?
In politics, there is always the two sides of the coin. It has always been like
there is nothing wrong in that.
There's nothing wrong in that. What is most important is that we have a nation that we want to see develop. We have a nation that we want to see its citizens are employed. We have a nation that we want to see life is affordable for all. Now, but to achieve that, the government has to be mindful of how it dishes out its policies. This is my own concern. And if Indume is saying withdrawal is not in totality, when Senator Indume says, what is the need of the hurry?
Give it time.
We applauded this initiative. But there are gray areas, just like my brother here have admitted as well. There are gray areas in this tax. Withdrawing it temporarily, subject it to the right steps. Allow people to understand what it stands for and how they benefit. Then we can bring it back to the table and all will align to it. But rushing it when some people are already not comfortable with it, it does not make any sense. And that is why I'm making a comparison for you with, if there is anything to rush now in Nigeria, is to rush and put food on the table of Nigerians to eat, because people are hungry.
But government needs money to
I understand, but how do you want to take money from people you have not given much? How do you take
it that you don't agree with the claim that if you earn certain amount, is it 800,000, or that you will not be taxed, and that SMEs, they will be exempted?
There is no exemption. These are services. The only way you run government is through this taxation. But you can only tax reasonably. You don't put too much burden on your citizens. Put it to the extent they can bear. Because doing it the other way would not even help you. And why my brothers in the north are complaining, and I agree, as much as I blame the governors, I'm always not comfortable with what the northern governors are doing. I'm not comfortable at all, because you get to see we have a state governor who only pays salary and nothing. He waits for the next month. He never cares about it. All he knows is after his 8 years, he would extend his position to the Senate, where he will seek for immunity and continue to stay until another person throws him out of the place. You understand? So holding them accountable, ensuring that they concentrate on things that would define the future of our generation yet unborn is essential. But at the same time, the federal government, now, under the leadership of this president, he means well for Nigeria, but he should do it in a manner that will not be destructive.
All right, Baba, yes. I want you to come in here. You see, ordinary Nigerians, if you look at it, it's like they have given up.
Yeah.
Is it lack of trust?
Yeah.
Because ideally, most of the letters, I said it earlier, most of the letters we received, phone calls, text messages, and all that, people are just asking, what is it about?
Yes.
It's like it is the elite that are fighting among themselves. Thank you very much. And that, to greater extent, they have given up. Is it justified that they have given up?
Absolutely. Let me pull that out of your mouth. And that is what I'm saying here. You see, and I'm happy we have gotten to this level. The trust deficit is a function of the serial failure of the political class. The governors, the senators, the House of Reps, and the state legislature.
And the president.
Of course, the president is the apex. The president is a product of the combination of the whole, right? And if the input of the governors is the output of Mr. President, so there is a total collapse or deficiency of trust. But let me backtrack. What you said is, what is it all about? It is our responsibility. For me, let me speak for myself. That is why it was my responsibility.
You keep researching.
You know me, people know me, they know my background. I downloaded the bill and went through it page by page. And I'll tell you what. The vulnerable 133 million Nigerians are declared multidimensionally poor. 70% are in northern Nigeria. The bill says the entire vulnerable are exempted. You can read it in the bill. I'm coming to that.
But do you agree? Because I don't want.
Well, excuse me.
Yes.
I read the bill, Hamza. Let's talk like mature people here. There's a bill before us, okay? And if that is what they wrote in the bill, right? It is our responsibility to do two things. I will mark it with red and say, reconfirm, you presidential chairman, whatever, confirm this thing means and how. Tell us how it will be done.
These are some of the questions.
But as far as it is in the bill,
yes,
as far as I'm concerned, it is in the bill. I will engage based on that. How are you going to achieve? Those are the questions I will ask as a Northern Nigeria. How will you exclude them? Two, minimum wage, people earning minimum wage. All of them are exempted from this. So if that will happen, it means we are now addressing those at the lower strata of society. Okay? That means they won't be impacted. Businesses, about 60% of Nigerian businesses have been confirmed pay taxes.
Yes.
And which comes to the issue of Naseni, third fund, and all that are being run by taking taxes. And the logic here is not about scrapping Naseni. If you go to other countries, including UAE and others, you fund these projects through endowments and other methodologies, not by taxing. Because when you tax business, what do? They pass the cost.
But you know, Baba, the reason why we have some of these agencies was because of the failure of the system. They now say, okay, let's have special.
Thank you very much.
Now, if you go to most universities now, you will see more than 90% of their projects funded by TED Fund, right? Now TED Fund is going. This fund you are talking about, in the next maybe few years, fund, I mean, you give the loans to people and they are unable to get jobs to repay.
Can I land, Hamza? Can I land, please? This TED Fund and NIGDA and NECG, they don't belong to Tinubu. With due respect to
But he wants them to leave.
If he wants, should we now allow it by saying we throw it? Why don't we put a counter and say these are the provisions?
Okay, so this is what
the TED Fund is not going because it's doing ABC. If you are taking out TED Fund, what is the alternative? Now you see, Nigerians sometimes forget that we have the right. You see, that is why this political class are playing yo-yo with us. We are the people that should determine what happens in a democracy, not the other way around. The situational awareness and political awareness of the elites is what will drive that conversation. Like you said, the poor people don't know what is going on. We engage now and say, these are the conditions for us. That one is not going. This one is not going. And you need to give us a proviso within this act that you are good, that will not come tomorrow, you come through the window and erase them.
All right.
So we can go through this, like I say, consult, engage, debate, and negotiate.
All right. Thank you very much, Baba. Yes, viewers, I think it's time now for us to open the telephone lines for you to also contribute to this conversation. Don't use foul language. Use the telephone number that will be displayed on your screen and then call to share your own thought on whether this tax reform bill should be or should not be. We are waiting for your calls as we continue the conversation in the studio. Some Nigerians, I received some text messages already that they didn't see anything from fuel subsidy removal. Then after, when they were cooking it, they said subsidy was only benefiting the elite.
Yes.
It is not benefiting the poor in any way. Now they are saying this tax, they are going to only tax the rich. They will not tax the poor. Somebody said he has his doubts, but he wants you in the studio who are enlightened to tell him whether the tax reform bills will do a kind of magic that subsidy removal was unable to do.
There is not going to be any magic from the tax removal, from the tax reform.
So you also believe that it's deception?
As it stands now, I have agreed to the good side of the tax reform. I have my reservation about those gray areas. And I want the government to enlighten people properly about this tax reform. This is my major concern, Alhaji Hamza. I don't want because now, when you tax, for example, now this increment they're talking about, that by next year it will be 10%, then preceding, which is 2026 to 2029, it will be 12.5%, and then it will rise subsequently to go 15. And now, anything of this nature, it gets watered down to the consumer.
No matter how you customize
exactly, because now if I am buying, for example, a bag of flour I go to a shop, a mall, I'm supposed to take it at 50,000 and I pay 10% VAT and it raises that, I take cost of transportation.
So definitely.
He also charges me. I bring it down to my shop. Of course, it will affect the price of that. And the consumer gets to feel it.
Okay.
So when you want to talk about these things, my major concern is there are economic loopholes in the country.
And they should address them.
President address such loopholes.
All right,
because if you do that, you will encourage a lot of activities that will put more money in the hands of Nigeria.
Okay, we have our first caller on the program. Hello, okay, Shamaki is on the line. Welcome to the program, Shamaki.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you, Shamaki?
Yes, sir. Good evening, all of you. I am saying good evening to you. Yes?
Okay, in the studio, Hamayaro and Baba Yusuf. Okay, go ahead. What is your take? Well, is it about the gray areas? Are you supporting?
I'm highly impressed with what I am hearing from you.
Thank you.
Supporting what your guests are discussing. Seriously. And I hope this discussion will continue. And with this type of discussion, Nigerians, and Northerners particularly, will will become more aware of where the federal government is going on. And I hope our leaders, our representatives at the Senate will understand what Northerners are going through. Yes, like one of you just said, it's not to want it completely. It has to be allowed to pass through some processes. And with those processes, people will become more aware of the importance of the need. I hope this deliberation will continue.
All right, Shamaki, thank you very much. All right.
People will become more aware of what is happening.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Shamaki. Yes, Baba, I will keep interrupting you because we want also Nigerians to contribute. You can see people are happy. But it's like we are trying to prefer solution instead of the debate, the needless debate around the National Assembly. Yes, Hamayaro said, whether we like it or not. Because just like the fuel subsidy, you can see now, personally, on several occasions, I asked those in authority that, look, the promise, or what you told Nigerians before was that fuel subsidy only subsidizes the rich. But at the end of the day, the rich, they are still running their home, jeeps and all that. They don't care. But the poor can't even go to work. But he said he's also thinking that this claim that the VAT will not affect the poor and all that is like a gimmick or something. Do you agree?
Well, for me, I've read the bill and I've stated my position by writing and in many cameras. And I still maintain my position. We should subject it through a process and ask them the question. This is a legislation. You see, part of the problem of Nigeria is not the governors calling. It's not the legislation. It's people like Amaru, myself, and the elites.
But we are tired of
let me land.
Yes.
Let me land.
And
This is what we do. We talk. We only talk. This public hearing, you will go and check. We will not go there. At the end of the day, they will do RNG and pass the bill without critical input of subject matter experts. So what I'm saying is this.
Yes.
We can sit there and be doing an analysis on TV. The fact is, unless we engage the process, we cannot know the facts, we cannot put them on the spot, we cannot make statements of demand and hold them accountable for that. And that is the issue.
So we have to go to
we should go through the process and critique it, and where we don't want, we should say it should be taken out. That is my position.
Thank you very much. Yes, we have another caller. Welcome to the program. Hello? Yes, hello? Okay, we lost the call, of course. Yes, as I said, I will keep interrupting you. Yes. About public hearing. I know that we have written quite a number of stories and we spoke with experts. They believe that it's not about public hearing, but about going back to the drawing board. But before you answer, let me pick this call. Yes, hello?
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, hello. Who is on the line?
I'm Adam Gimba from Bida.
From Bida, Niger State. Okay, good evening, Adam. Welcome to the program.
Yes, I'm taking the cognizance of what the discussants are saying.
Yes. So what is your take?
In fact, it is well educated, particularly the two professors that have the two professors.
Yeah, that we actually hosted earlier, Dr. Kabiru Dandago, yes, and we said yes.
I really appreciate what they are trying to
Okay.
what they are analyzing. But then the government is rushing over this taxation. The government is rushing over this taxation.
So what do you think government should do? Because government, it has 4 years, already 1.5 years gone.
Government should throw it over so that people will have input, just like the way the two people now are now chipping into what the government is supposed to do.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Adamu.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, yes, Hamayaro, I think it's in line with the question I asked. Public hearing. Some people are, expressing skepticism that public hearing at the National Assembly alone will not suffice. Will you advocate that we should go back to the grassroots, maybe at the local government level?
Representation at every state level is the governor. He speaks for his people. We have senators, 3 from each state. We have members House of Reps. Now, since the governors have partially spoken, even though
through the NEC, National Economic Council,
even though we have so much doubt as to their sincerity over governance, but at this point, it is important we listen to them. Yes, we've not been holding them to account. This is, this is our area. This is like a shortfall from our end, but. Public hearing, just like the way you have subject matter experts, 2 of them from, I don't know from which state they come.
Yes.
But if you look at
today, in every
state in this country, from every state you have subject matter experts. Those states should rally these people, bring these politicians across board with the governor, get representative from each local government, well-enlightened, educated, minds, come together, agree on this thing, let the town hall, let the public hearing start from each state. Develop, get your own position on the matter, which means you have spoken for your state. Transmit it to the federal government, and other states will do the same. And this thing can be done because of the importance of this bill. These things can be given a time frame of, let's say, a week or 2 or a month. It's not a bad idea. Because just like other people are saying, we've spent 25 years arguing on the PIB. Yes, it was not important to have done that. But somebody will tell you, what has it even done to me? In fact, let me be, I should have been in the era.
Good evening.
All right. Yes, it's like we have a guest who is.
Good evening.
Yes, you are welcome. Welcome. Welcome to the program. Who's on the line?
You are doing a very good job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You are enlightening us, Trust TV.
Thank you. May we know you, please? Yes.
This is Mohammed from Jigawa.
Okay, Mame. Welcome to the program.
This tax reform bill, thank you very much for enlightening us.
We are honored. So do you have anything to say?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Do you have anything to say?
Nigeria.
Do you have anything to say?
I have something to say.
Okay, go ahead.
This so-called consultants of the tax reform bill.
Yes.
Who are they? Who are they?
Big question.
These consultants. Who are they? Are they the ones that doing in Lagos that they brought them here to do for the federal government or what? Because there are some tax consultants in Lagos that collect IGR of Lagos State. That company belongs to Tinubu. Are they the ones that are going to start collecting for the federal government?
We met with them, and clearly they said there is nothing like consultancy in
Because
the
I
collection
live
of
in Lagos for almost 43 years. I know those companies.
Yes, Madam Mohammed. To answer your question.
For enlightening us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for calling, and then I will allow Baba Yusuf, of course, to answer. But as I said, we had conversation. I'm not holding brief for anyone. They said at the end of the day, it is not consultants that will collect the taxes. But I don't know. You mentioned is the alphabet. I heard you said something.
No, I think he's trying to alpha beta because it's one of the burning issues that was raised even by Southerners to say, is this going because there are some provisions there that suggest as if some kind of commission would be collected by commission agents.
Yes.
And stakeholders were saying, are we going to see another scenario of alpha beta, which was adequately answered by the chairman of the presidential committee to clarify that section. And that is what I'm talking about. We should continue raising the issue so that we understand what is in the bill. I don't know whether there were previous encounters or relationship between alpha beta and the members of the presidential committee, but like every other Nigerian, I know when the list was railed out, and you can check it online, there is representation from all the geopolitical zones. Northwest, Northeast, North Central, Southeast, Southwest. Almost 100 Nigerians are members of this committee from various diverse backgrounds and areas of expertise. That is what I know about the presidential committee. They should speak for themselves. But coming back to the burning issue of this tax and how we should go forward, Hamero spoke about the engagements. And I want to remind us, since we're entitling us so that we can be on the same page on this. This committee was inaugurated 1 year and 2 months or so ago. The governors were aware. The legislators were aware. From what we have heard in the public forum, they tried to engage the governors, but the governors blocked them out. Right? Let's assume, without conceding, that didn't happen. What were the governors doing for 1 year? If the interest of their people is so important for them, within that 1 year, they were collecting double allocation, talking about subsidy. Within that 1 year, we had band A, band B. Within 1 year, we have flotation of Naira. Both the members of the legislature and the governors, they didn't say anything. The vagaries of insecurity, they didn't say anything. So now that we have agreed, we should consult. Do we need to beg senators and House of Reps to go and organize town hall meetings?
So you are now saying they should go and organize.
No,
but there is also a fundamental problem.
What is the fundamental problem?
If the National Economic Council will actually push this back, don't you think it's the highest advisory body apart from the National Council?
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Don't you think the president should actually look at the caliber of people, the vice president, the governors, and all that, to say, okay, in the interest of harmony, so that there won't be mutual suspicion, let me concede and say I'm withdrawing this bill.
I don't want you to get into my time. Let me interject. Because
and I have 1 minute for you.
You know what? I don't want to tell the president or governors how they engage. When they were sorting themselves out, I was not there. My point is this issue, we should all read the bill. We should speak to those that don't understand the bill and come back and engage. So that if we are throwing out the bill, we throw it out. If we are negotiating some aspect of it for it to fly, it flies. But we should not put our destiny in the hands of governors or senators. When it suits them, they play the game. So I don't want to be part of those politics they are playing at that level. As a citizen today, what I'm telling Nigerians is shine your eyes, read the bill, engage, and then hold your legislators and governors to account. How they come back to the subnational to deal with this. Hey, if this bill is thrown out, there's no issue. It is the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians, which includes me and my family. But the point is, the Northerners should not sit and say, throw away the bill. We should engage and position ourselves such that if it is to go, it will go.
I know you want to talk, but let me take this last call and then give you the last chance to wrap up. Yes. Hello, who is on the line? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, quickly, who is on the line, and let's have your take.
Zakari.
Okay, from where?
From Kogi State.
Okay, reduce the volume on your TV set and then speak up.
Okay.
We are with you. We are running out of time.
Hello.
Okay, go ahead, Zachary. Go ahead. Oh, sadly, we lost Zachary. Yes, Amel, we're not enough. So, what is your final take on this, and what do you think?
My final take on this is I have agreed to what my brother says here on his last submission. My own stand on the other side is let the president slow down, particularly on this reform bill.
Okay.
Pause a little, allow the people to decide, but go back and bring about reforms that will stabilize our currency. Bring about reforms that will make energy affordable for Nigerians. Bring about reforms with this kind of momentum I'm seeing on the tax reform. Put the same momentum in bringing about reforms that will bring about food sufficiency and then tackle insecurity. Because if you address this, you will have so much from your citizens and you can take enough to run the government from them. But now that they don't have anything, Nigerians don't have anything, Hamza. We don't have anything.
So
Ironically, I'm just saying we don't have anything. People live hand to mouth. If you earn #1 million, it's nothing in this country. It's nothing. So you cannot come and start telling me you want to increase VAT. You cannot be rushing me to do. Yes, part of the bill is good. Part of it is not well articulated. So please, if truly the interest is for Nigerians and Nigeria, the president should slow down. All right. However, if there is anything hidden, this is not the best way to address, problems. The president should listen to Nigerians. We have spoken, and at the same time, to go back to what the governors are doing, so that we can check both at the same time and help the situation. Governors should as well use the resources available with them to, to help the federal government in achieving all.
All right, Baba, just 30 seconds, please, because we have run out of time. Your final words.
Well, my final word is, like I said, let us consult, engage, debate, and negotiate.
You know, one thing I've noticed with this Nigeria and our system of government is that they don't allow you to speak the truth. If you say the truth, they come for you. If you say the truth, they will come against you. They term you enemy. Because take the likes of Dele to me that simply say the truth and expose Alpha Babalola. That was the only crime. And then Alpha Babalola went ahead to arrest him illegally. Now again, this people came me by the knock have been training. So I wanted to know why. And this is because she exposed the dirty things being done by our so-called policemen. Because now policemen are now busy arresting people illegally. Not only that, they will rob you, they will rape you. Many people are meant to protect us from our enemies, and not our enemies themselves. Because that's the reason why police will arrest you and they will steal your shoe, they will steal your rituals. Police are meant to be protecting and arresting robbers and robbers themselves. People are meant to be arresting rapists and rapists themselves. So I'm not gonna call these headlines. They said that police in Nigeria rob those they should protect. Came by the knock. And that one said Nigerian police officers are armed robbers, licensed to extort citizens with guns. The same came by the knock. And then another person said that Nigeria is a very poor country. Police steal from the citizens, stole my brother's shoe and wristwatch. UK party leader came by the knock. And that's why another government have been going after this lady because she speaks the truth. If you see the truth, they'll come back, they'll come for you. This is a clear example of what is happening to Dele to me. Because she just only spoke the truth and then they came for him. Now again, I think he had an interview where he exposed more things about Nigeria government. And that's what the Nigeria government don't like. They don't like the truth. And Nigerians, most Nigerians too, don't like the truth. They like being lied to. And I love the fact that people are now coming out to speak the truth. So I'd like you guys to hear that video and hear what this lady said and why Nigeria government are always attacking people that are coming to say the truth. That means they enjoy us keeping quiet so that they will do what they like to do. So this video, I'll let you guys just hear it and then you can hear your video in the comment section.